The newest line of amplifiers to our brand is called the Katana amps, and there's about 4 of them out right now. The one I'm playing through is the little 100-watt head here. It's got 4 channels. You can select a number of different effects. It's also interfaceable with the computer, so you can download new effects or put as many as 15 effects into it as you want. Basic, very, very simple operation, and they're great performance amplifiers, so they really, really get over a band very nicely. The tone is very dynamic, so I can dial in and work with pedals very well. And that is the newest line of Katana amps.
Cool, thank you. And what have you got going on in the way of multi-effects?
The way of multi-effects would be the new GT1 guitar effects processor. This is basically a miniaturized version of the GT100, which is our flagship multi-effects pedal. So you can dial in as many as 15 effects at a time. The same interfaces, so if you have GT100 patches or GT001 patches, you can share them onto GT1 and have them go vice versa. It's also USB audio interfaceable, which the Tone Studio will be available soon. And it's going to be mapping for $199.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thanks so much for showing us through all this, Austin.
So this is the TD50. It's our newest flagship model, and it's really great. Some of the things we've changed from the TD30 is we've added 2 digital pads. The USB connectivity allows so much more information to be transferred, so they're way more sensitive, way more responsive, and they can do really cool things, like this ride cymbal. You can mute with just 1 finger, and it reads your your electricity. It's kind of cool. And then with the snare drum, it's 3-ply instead of 2, so it's not as bouncy. You could dig in more. Feels a little bit more acoustic. And you can cross stick. They've added the feature to, when you put your hand on it, mutes any crosstalk or double triggering. That used to be an issue on the TD30 and other previous models. So they've kind of just made it more playable. And then this kick drum is an option. And it's really great because aesthetically it's cool, it's fun. This is part of what I think we were missing, is the customization. It's any 22. You can put our trigger system on the front. So it's really sweet. The brain itself, we've added the 3 USB imports for digital pads, 2 for the existing and 1 for if you want to add another one, or in the future if we make more, there's a 3rd spot for it. We've added XLR outs for the audio, which is really good. We've added multi-track recording, up to 10 tracks at a time via USB, so MIDI over USB, really cool. And then the ability to add your own samples to any drum or cymbal, which to me is a huge thing that people have been wanting for a long time. And then, of course, all the customization that you had on the 30.
What's up, everybody? So indeed, we have the DJ 808 here. It's the first partnership between Serato and Roland. Very exciting. This is a very unique controller in that it combines some of the features that you'd see on other controllers with the TRS, which is a stripped-down version of the TR8. Has all the classic drum machines in here from Roland: 909, 808, 707, 606. A 16-step sequencer that can sequence those drum machines, as well as can sequence your sampler, which lives inside the Serato DJ environment. A couple other things to mention. We have a vocal transformer, the VT, that's built right into this as well, which has some basic features in EQ, a level, but it also has the ability to change the format or the pitch. It's got a dedicated reverb, and you can also auto pitch it so that it will conform to the key of whatever track is on the deck, which is also a pretty interesting approach to it. Yeah.
VP03. It's based off of the VP330, and it's part of it. It's in the boutique format, so you have a step sequencer, you have these kind of touch strips right here, you have the mini USB, which can do audio and MIDI out, and then you have the 1/8" ports in the back here. It comes with a mic that you can plug in, like this one right here has a mic attached to it, but you can also route audio into it through the USB cable, so that's pretty cool. It has a vocoder, string machine, and kind of a human voice synth sound, so it's a kind of this vintage Vangelis type timbre. We have the TB03, which is based off of the TB303. It's different from, I would say, the TB3 era piece that came out a couple years ago because they improved the sound. They made it so that it's more of a emulation of the TB303 that has like all the original waveforms. It has some of the common overdrive modifications kind of built into it. So you actually have a knob to adjust overdrive up to 3 different modes. It comes with tape and digital delay in addition to some reverbs, but it's much more of like a dedicated acid line, baseline box. Next we have the TR09. And this is basically based off of the TR909. So this is dedicated 909 drum sounds built into it. It runs the same kind of technology that's common on all the boutiques ACB. So that's kind of component level modeling. And it has, like the other boutiques, the original programming style. But it has the improvements such as mini USB, doing audio and MIDI, 1/8-inch jacks as well. And it's just, I think it sounds a lot dirtier than, say, the TR8, which has 909 sounds built into it. I wouldn't say one's better than the other, but this almost sounds a little bit more aged, kind of like a fine wine or something. But, it's definitely easy to program. Yeah, so the Arrowphone is a wind controller. It's a Roland's first wind controller, and what makes it unique is that it has the fingerings based off of a saxophone, and that's actually really convenient for me because I played saxophone. So it has this really cool mouthpiece that kind of simulates a reed, which is really great because it actually senses your embouchure. So for any kind of reed players, you'll feel really familiar when you play this because you can actually control some of the pitch bends and overblowing using this kind of really cool mouthpiece. And it also comes with a bunch of different sounds that are not limited to obviously saxophones. So kind of more conventional organic type stuff, but also has synthesizer sounds. It has a supernatural sound engine that's built into it. So that's kind of been pioneered with like Jupiter 80 and some of the older Roland synths that came out a couple of years ago. So this is one of the most interesting new products that we have, and I think it's really kind of a unique approach to the wind controller market.
Cool.